Hello everyone, welcome back to you our interactive platform that is the ITLS Academy and in the interactive topic. So in continuation to our clinical research series, today we will talk about the evolution of protocol buzzard. As you all know, I am Advocate Priyanka. I can't say that all know, but obviously if you are watching my videos, then you must be know. Today we are going to talk about the protocol budget. This is the lecture 25 of this series. Let's start. In this video, we will talk about highlights of previous session as usual we do. Then we will see that what is the protocol budget, what is the evolution of protocol budget, how it is done, then what are the key components of protocol budget, and then what are the factors which affects the protocol budget. Like at last, if you have prepared anything and then at last it is affecting this. First we will go through the highlights of previous session. So in previous session we have talked about the protocol writing, and there we have talked about that what is protocol, how to choose research questions. Here it can see, you can see that I mean you can find little bit I am talking about the protocol and then I'm jumping to the choose research question. But if you want to know that the correlation, you must go and watch the previous video, that is the lecture 24 about the protocol writing. So first we will know that what is protocol. Protocol is basically document that describes the background, rationale, objective, design, methodology, statistical considerations, and organization of a clinical research project. That means protocol is basically giving the comprehensive summary of that research. That is about the what is the background, what are the problems for which they have brought the solutions, what is the methodology. All these things is collected one place, that is the protocol. And then how to choose a research question. To choosing research question is also important for the writing protocol. How you can watch in the last video. And then what is the process of writing protocol. We have discussed that how can you write the protocol, what are the things you should keep in the mind before writing a protocol. Then format of proposal, what is the format of proposal for the protocol writing. Then what are the sections for the protocol writing, what are the components of the protocol, what should be included there. Then why the need of protocol, also we have seen that what is the need of the protocol. So need of the protocol is basically for the scientific quality control, efficiency in and planning, ethical board approval, transparency. If you wish to know more about that, how these are basically needed in these things, protocol is needed, so then you must watch the previous video. Now we will move to our today's topic, that is the evaluation of protocol budget. As I told in the last video that it is going to be interesting topic, so obviously it is going to be interesting topic because after watching this you will be able to not only evaluation of your protocol budget for the daily day-to-day budgets also. How? You will see at last, you will say you will tell me that yeah, it was the relevant. So first we will see that what is protocol budget. Protocol budget is basically a detailed financial plan for any research which outlines all expenses against available funding. That means what funding you have received. For any research, we have some fundings to do that particular research. So what fundings you have and what is your proposal, what will be the cost for the proposal. So you will have to make a plan that, okay, this much I have funding, this is the proposal, this will be the costings. So I have to make the costings, like what fundings I have, or if if there will be require of more fundings for that also, we can see in the protocol budget. I will here give you just a simple day-to-day example, as I promised you that it will be beneficial for you for the normal budgets also planning. So I will give you a just simple example, like see you have received 5,000 rupees from your parents for a tip. Now, what will you do? You will make a plan of expenditures against the available amount, that is the 5,000. Like you are going to some nearby places, you will, what you will see? You will see that, okay, I will go by the train, how much it will cost. I will have some food there, how much it will cost. So if your expenditure is not exceeding than 5,000, then it's well and good. But if there is more expenditure, you will have to seek for more funds from your parents. So this is the basically budget planning. In the case of protocol, budget planning is also the same, like uh, investigators make expenditure list and available fundings, and accordingly they make plan that okay, we have this much funding, and we have this research topic. For this we will need this things like some clinical supplements, some other things like participants for the clinical trials, all these things. And then they will think that okay, is it sufficient, what how much funding we have, or if we need more fundings, then they will seek for that also. So this is basically the protocol budget. Now, how to evaluate protocol budget? So to evaluation of any budget, what will we do? You will do that what are the first thing what will become in your mind, that what are the cost, direct cost and indirect cost. What will be the direct cost? Direct cost, like for the any trip, it will the train and like food. These are the direct cost. What are the indirect cost? Like if you are going for the some I mean in that trip, if you are going for the some additional places also, all other things that will come for the indirect cost. In the case of protocol budget, direct cost are like what are the expenditure for the clinical trials, what are the expenditure for the other things, and indirect cost like for your research you will have to travel for the conferences, and also this will come under the indirect cost. So first, to evaluate protocol budget, first thoroughly analyze a study plan for estimation of all direct cost and indirect cost. Then second, compare with actual cost versus available or expected fundings, like how much funding you have available and how much you are going to spend, like according to your plan. So you will have to compare with that. Is it sufficient? Then it's okay. So this like how you can evaluate your protocol budget. Then make list of shortfalls. That means okay, these things are not covering under the expected fundings or under the available funding, so make list of those things. Then work on that how can you reduce the cost of your mm, what you have make the plan, how can you reduce the cost. Like you can go and finalize contract with site investigators in field of clinical trial. We need sites, so you can go and site investigators and bring them to down from your actual what you have made in your plan, that okay, this much will be cost like 10,000, they will adjust. For example, it is not actual 10,000, it is very much more than 10,000. So like if 10,000 I have guessed, so if you go to them, if they ask for 10,000, you can bring it to them to the 5,000 or to the 8,000. So this how you can basically fill the gap, and you can know the actual gap between the actual cost and fundings. Then work on that gap of fundings obviously, and then always keep reserve amount for unexpected expenditure. So it's not like that what you have planned everything will be according to you, that we will see also in our next slides. So you should always keep some reserve amount for the unexpected expenditures also. Now what are the key components of protocol budget? So basically, that means that when you are evaluating the protocol budgets, you will have to see that, like in short, we say that direct cost, indirect cost, but you will have to see for the each cost. Like okay, these things will come under this protocol budget. So first one is salary for a staff. Obviously, if you are going to do anything, not I'm not talking about any research. If you are going to open a shop, also you will have to hire staffs. So first, and to give them salary is the first priority. So first, it should include salaries and other benefits given to all staffs from the investigators to helpers. It's not like you should think only about the uppers. You will have to think about the helpers at the lower level staffs also. Then second is clinical supplies. For any research, there are requirements of many clinical tools, equipments, many clinical supplies. So for all these things, you will have to make plan that okay, for your research, what equipments, what other you can say accessories, other things are required. Then administrative fee. Obviously, when you are going to do the research, you are going to the you will have to go for the you can say permissions from many departments, and there is some fee, so you will have to you will have to see that okay how much these fees are going to be. So this is also a very important component of protocol budget. Then patient care, like for the research at the stage of clinical trial, patients or you can say participants are involving, and for them there is need of care. It is not like that only you have involved them and you have just done your work, but you will have to take care of them also. So for that patient care, how much cost it will be go, it should be also added. Then second, next is subject requirement, that is the same thing like patient, like the participant. So for, it's not like that you are going to do research, you are telling someone okay you come, you come, you come. It's not like that. You will have to go through the proper advertisement, for through the proper channel for the recruitment of participants, and for that also you will require the uh, it will cost. Now, subject retention, like after the requirement of the subjects of the participants, you will have to retain them. If so, you will have to see that they should not go within a month between the trial or at the end of trial. So it will just ruin your clinical trial. So for that also you will have to give them some stipend or something others benefit what they require. So for that will also is a added cost in the budget. Then next is data management and monitoring. Obviously when you are going to do a protocol budget, that means you are going it for the, here you are going for the research or for the clinical trial. So all data should be managed, because data is very important for any clinical trial. So all data should be managed properly, all data should be monitored properly, and for this you will require so many external support and tools which will add extra cost. Then insurance and indemnification cost also required for clinical trial insurance and indemnification of study sites or investigator. So basically what this cost do, this cost protect against potential liabilities arising from trial related incidents. Like if there is trial, if there is anything you can know that okay this thing can happen, so these are the potential liabilities. So for that also you need the indemnification, you need the insurance coverage for these things. Then travel and meeting, as I told, that indirect cost like travel and meetings, you will have to go through the conference, researchers will investigators will all will have to go to the different conferences for the meetings, and for that it will also the cost, obviously nothing is free. Then you can add some miscellaneous, like there should be extra budget for some miscellaneous things or unexpected things, like as told earlier that unexpected things, you can say that if in case of any emergency or in case of any accident, you will have to pay to the some to participants. So these things should be also included in at the earlier stage of the protocol budget. Now, next is that what are the factors affecting evolution of protocol budget? That means, like, okay, you have made the budget, everything is finalized, and now you have started the working. But at last, there are few factors. This always affect your protocol budget. For the simple, in if you talk in our day-to-day activities, like you have planned, okay, I have this much money for the whole month. I will give this much to the rent, this much to the electricity bill, this much for the grocery, and this much amount will be come to in my hand. But what suddenly what if suddenly anyone hospitalized in your family, or like any additional burden come to you, like something what you have not expected. In that case your budget is failed. You need to add some extra amount, you need to put some extra efforts. So for that also we should be prepared in the starting. So that's why for even for the our day-to-day activities, when you are planning, you are preparing the budget for the month, you should keep always the some reserve amount which will be used for the unexpected outcomings. So here, what can be the factors which can affect evolution of protocol budget, like study duration? So see, if some research it is finalized, it is at the earlier stage, we have seen that okay, it will be done in the 2 year or 3 year, but due to some circumstances or some changes, it went to the 5 year, or it went to the 4 years. So obviously there is additional 1 year and 2 years. So there will be the additional salaries for 1 year and 2 year for the staffs. Additional clinical supplies will be required. So many things will be required though. This will definitely going to affect the protocol budget, which is already evaluated. Then study complexity. Like in starting, you could not find that okay, this study is going to be this much complex, but at the middle stage it went to the complex stage, and that's why you need more and complex and expensive equipment. So obviously it will increase your the cost, so it will imbalance your the protocol the budget. Then frequency of travel. If travel will increase because of nature of study being more complex at later stage, you will have researchers will have to go to the for the more training, they are not trained for all the things, so there are requirement of more trainings at your place, at another place. So obviously that will also be the unexpected burden to you to for that budget. So, and then toxicity and adverse events, like as told always, that there can be anything like some unexpected events, like during the monitoring of data, during the management of data, some adverse event at the clinical trial sites. So anything affects. So these factors are basically affecting the protocol budget. So we have talked till now about the protocol budget, that what is the protocol budget, and what are the key components, how can you evaluate, what are the factors that are affecting. And I am sure that after watching this video, obviously when you are going to plan your monthly budget, you will keep in your mind that okay, this much is not sufficient. We will have to plan budget anything like that. We will have to keep some extra reserve amount for the any adverse things. So if you have any doubt in this topic, the or in any previous topic also, you can write in the comment section. As usual, I always tell that I will come back with the doubt clearing session, but obviously there must be some comment, then only I will come back with the doubt clearing sessions. And next topic is going to be the overview of data management in clinical research. So in that topic, I will just give you a very overview that how data are managed in the clinical research. And thank you so much for watching the video, and I acknowledge to that I have taken some resources from the Google, images from the Googles, from the other open study sources. So thank you to the Google, you can see to the internet also. Thank you so much. And please don't forget to follow ITLS Academy. This is a very great learning platform. As I always tell that it is the one platform where you can get the more and more diverse of topics. So don't follow if you will, don't forget to follow. If you will not follow, then how you are going to get these diverse topics. So thank you so much for watching the video till now. And for now, bye bye, and I'm coming very soon with the next topic. Thank you so much. Bye bye.